So what's your take on Shadow so far? Assassin's Creed Shadow so far, like overall, it feels like a decent game. But having like watched SkillUp's review, it kind of confirmed what I feared, and that is simply put that the gameplay loop seems to be very much similar to Mirage, where you are given a wheel of targets, and in order to take out the targets, you then have to do like a bunch of side stuff that feels like more like busy work. If done, you can then take out a target, which is going to be in similar structures all the time, basically, which is a bit of a shame, because I feel like it, because apparently it's according to SkillUp as well, the last 5 hours of the game is where the game actually like really gets good. It apparently has the worst story out of all the Assassin's Creed games. So you're saying the game is unplayable because of how woke it is? Oh, there's nothing to do with... I don't personally give two shits about who's the main character and stuff like that. Suspicions regarding the fact that Yasuki is basically also confirmed that he is like basically like really heavy and on agile and everything to play, whereas Naomi, if I'm saying that correctly, the female, is like basically what you would want out of an Assassin's Creed game, which is a bit crap, really. So at that point, it's kind of like, what's the point of Yasuki anyways? Because all it's really done is just basically create a bunch of controversy, and all it really did is add not any sort of meaningful gameplay. Because from a combat perspective, yeah, he is like better for hand-to-hand combat, but you're playing an Assassin's Creed game and you're trying to be an assassin. So what you're saying is you should reply to every Ubisoft post with DI go woke go broke? No, because that's just moronic. But I know you're fucking around, B2, but I didn't really feel like it was like a really omega impressive game or whatever. Like, I don't like, there's a couple of things that I generally really enjoyed about it. I think that the world looks nice. The vibe of the game looks really good. Some of the music that there's in there, though, I think there's a lack of ambient music. I would have liked to see some more of that. Some of the cutscenes actually, and like the facial animations in there, wow, if you look a little too deep into it, it will feel a little odd. But generally speaking, definitely better than your usual, you know, very static facial animations from Ubisoft games. This is mostly during like actual cutscenes though, which there seem to be quite a bit of actually. Like at the start of the game, I played like 4 hours or something, and I feel that I didn't really play a whole lot of video game, which apparently is pretty standard for Ubisoft, for like an Assassin's Creed game nowadays. But the combat itself doesn't feel impactful. Like, it feels very, very basic. It's basically just like mostly comes down to hold button to break someone's guard and then dodge the, you know, either dodge, like block the attacks, or parry them rather, or just dodge them all together, and that kind of seems to be it. Ghost of Tsushima, for example, had, because like we kind of have to make the comparison, I suppose. There's like different stances and stuff like that where you would face different enemies, but for what I've played, that doesn't really seem to happen. And like some of the heavier enemies, will just basically, all they will do is just basically do nothing but attacks that you only can dodge. Which basically kind of like, it's a bit of a shame really, because like it just kind of means that you just use the same character and the same weapon all the time. But yeah, basically like this, my personal opinion is coming from about 3-4 hours of gameplay, yeah, being the first 3-4 hours. Apparently the game is about 40 hours, so I guess, you know, take that impression for what you will. It's like, let me put it this way, it wasn't anything like, oh my god, I have to keep on playing this, right? But I feel like if you enjoy Assassin's Creed, like the last ones, and you probably will enjoy this too, I guess, but it wasn't really like doing anything for me where I'm like, oh my god, like I have to go and play this. Like a lot of the things that I saw, and this is coming from like limited experience with playing Assassin's Creed, I suppose, like the newer ones. It's not really reinventing the wheel, or like, you know, and the improvements that they have made, like, are small improvements that definitely are adding up to like, you know, to bigger things, I guess, I suppose. But if you're gonna play Assassin's Creed Shadows, do yourself a favor and turn on the Japanese voice acting. It is a lot better. I think the best quote that summarizes AC Shadows as best is no Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, I guess the main issue that Ghost of Tsushima or Assassin's Creed Shadows has is that like Ghost of Tsushima exists. The comparison is always going to be made to Ghost of Tsushima. And if you're gonna make the different, like the comparison between Ghost of Tsushima and Assassin's Creed Shadows, and you have to make a choice, Ghost of Tsushima is gonna be the better game. That is always gonna be the truth. So what's the verdict as of now for Assassin's Creed Shadows? I don't know. Here's the thing. Like I find it like I wouldn't really sit here and say like, oh my god, you have to go and get it, right? Because I feel that I have my personal feelings that I'm predicting what would happen if I were to continue playing it would be like I would probably get a little bored of just having to, like, you know, of the repetition of how it works. Because like the thing that I did, I effectively just had to do some kind of side thing in a tea party or whatever in order to like figure out where the target was. And then when it was time to take out the target, I went to like, you know, like a larger castle type of thing and then take it out. I didn't really do a lot of Assassin's greeting. I just did like, you know, busy work. I wouldn't say that you should go and, oh my god, you have to go and play it right now, and, you know. Like, let me put it this way, like, when Split Fiction, if something like Split Fiction that came out, that is a game I will wholeheartedly sell you. If you had to pay double for it, I would still recommend it. Because I mean, I haven't finished it yet, or we haven't finished it yet, I should say, but it's really fucking good. Whereas Assassin's Creed Shadows is kind of like, you know, it's one of those games that you've played it before, and it doesn't really, like, do anything, like, to wow you. I think it's one of those, like, you know, the reviews for it are solid, so that tells you something. Like, it's also just maybe something that just comes down to the fact that I probably, in this 4 hours that I played, for my personal feelings, spent a little too much time like watching cutscenes and stuff, and I am a little bit more gameplay focused. But I understand that it's like a larger game as well, so I wouldn't sit here in good conscience and start recommending Assassin's Creed Shadows for full price, basically. But I can also understand that there's an argument for it being something that, you know, like the vibe of the game and stuff like that, and like for what I've seen, like, and I guess based on Skill Up's review, kind of confirming some of the feelings that I have about the game when it comes to combat and, like, you know, the possible repetition and stuff like that. I wouldn't give it a recommendation, but I also wouldn't say like, oh hell no, you know. It's like one of those, it seems decent if it's something that, you know, you think you'll enjoy, and if you're looking to get stuck into like a 40-hour game that is probably pretty relaxing to play and just has a lot of, like, I guess your you know, pretty standard open world busy work stuff, then I guess get it. But I cannot tell you how to spend your money, but what I can tell you is how I found it, so just some of my thoughts, if you will.